We're down to one last one, and it's promised across the street this afternoon to Fred Gruber, who leads the Louisa Tea Party. He's a friend of mine. He's got some really good ideas, and I'm going to give this to Fred, and then we're going to change ship just a little bit what we're doing tonight. So here's the last one.
Hey, Fred. I prepared some remarks, but two things have come to mind during the day. Each of you have undoubtedly, both over at Cantor's office and in this room, picked up a few thoughts that you'd like to see happen. How about when you get home, go to 5 of your friends, you discuss it with each of them.
That's right.
And you get them to promise to discuss it with 5 of their friends. And if they really get whipped up, then those 5 will get 5, will get 5, will get 5. And next thing you know, we'll have tens of thousands of people.
That's right.
Okay?
Got to multiply.
Secondly, there is a growing movement to find a replacement for Cantor. Think about who you know that has what was mentioned here earlier. Unfortunately, money comes out right off the top. Tremendous funds. It's got to be a wealthy businessman or businesswoman who's willing to put some of their own money into the race. They've got to have proven ability. They've got to have some kind of a rep. Think of somebody, get it to Larry, get it to me, get it to Suzanne, get it to some Tea Party leader, and
No lawyers, I'll kill them.
it'll bubble up to the top. Okay? Now, I am Fred Gruber of Louisa, and I speak tonight of my personal opinions, not those of the Louisa, Virginia Tea Party, which I do lead. I'd like to address you, Mr. Cantor. You moved over by the camera, did you? Okay. The camera off. Mr. Cantor, notice that I do not address you as Representative Cantor, because in my opinion, you're not properly representing your constituents. First and foremost, you do not hold town hall meetings, and even refuse to attend tonight this town hall, right across from your office. I gather there will be an empty chair. I see it now, Clint Eastwood style. And in my opinion, you will fare far worse as a result of not showing up than if you had agreed to attend. I hope the press catches it all. We pay your salary.
Yes, that's right.
And you were not good enough to even offer a reason why you will not be with us tonight. There's several hundred people here who are your constituents. Also, your periodic advisory council meetings are, in my opinion, a sham. You ply the hundreds attending with wine and food, deliver a stump speech, take very few questions from the podium, and then say you will stay as long as needs be to answer other questions. But that will be off the platform with no mic, so only those nearby you can hear the discussion. If you're so dedicated, why don't you spend that time up at the podium where everyone could hear and participate? Are you afraid of what the public might hear from a tough questioner? I think so. I have never attended your barbecues or birthday celebrations, but I assume they too are similar puffery, presumably paid for by our tax dollars. Here we go.
Paul Hart, page 2.
What's that?
Paul Hart.
Yeah. Now here comes the rest of the story. Your voting record appears to be that of a centrist, whereas your district is very conservative. You're rated at only 50% on the FRC Action Scorecard of the Family Research Council in their latest tally. And that is down by half from a year ago. What has changed? Some of your actions that bother me are regarding NDAA. You voted against the amendment that would remove the part of the bill that allows for indefinite detention of U.S. citizens without due process. You voted against it. You worked to stop the Stock Act from going through in 2012. It passed, but then early this year, quietly and under the radar, you pushed its repeal through Congress. So now congressmen and their staff may continue to insider trade on stock information. You support the DREAM Act for children to allow illegal alien citizenship. You have not committed to defunding Obama, and you are now supporting Obama's desire to invade Syria. In my opinion, we should have nothing to do with Syria. Let them beat themselves to death. We have no way to win there, in my opinion. That's just a few things that bother me. I have not voted for you in the last 2 elections, and unless you change your ways on communication and legislation, you will not get my future votes, and I will work to unseat you. Mr. Cantor, become the representative we want and need.
Sorry, it's oldness.
You in there? Yeah.
No?
Yes,
Here we
yes.
go. Okay, thank you so much for participating question-wise. We can always continue this anytime, you know. They have things called Tea Party meetings, and they have things like video conferencing and teleconferencing and webinars. There's no excuse for not keeping in touch and talking about this stuff and getting together, forming alliances. We can do that. Facebook. Well,
No, not on Facebook.
I know you're not on Facebook because you want privacy, right? I got news for you. If you're standing within 100 yards of me, you have no privacy. Because, I'll tell you a little story, Carolyn. The first week that I was on CBS and Reddit and CNN, I got a laptop sitting right there. It's less than 2 years old. It worked fine. I was on national television and, pounding the IRS. I had, on Friday of that week, I had 97 Trojan viruses on my computer. Never had a problem before then. And then my phone started to beep at the oddest times. Every time I start talking about Patriot, Tea Party, etc.
Sounds like somebody hangs up.
I thought it was my smartphone, but my smartphone is a dumb phone because I don't want to run it. I'm going to shift gears just a second. I'm going to widen things out a little bit. For one thing, we're going to talk about 2 things. The Tea Party has been painted, shall we say, in the media in a very bad way, but we're getting that back. As part of my job, and as part of your job too. If somebody sticks a microphone in your face and you write a letter to the editor, we need to rebrand a little bit, not change our name. We need to be credible, so make sure of your facts, okay? And we need to be visible. So get out there in the media. There's nothing better than a grassroots person just expressing from their heart the things that you've been saying, okay? And I want to tell you, we're nonpartisan. We truly are. If I find a conservative Democrat under a rock somewhere in a cave, I would back him, or her, and independent as well. And I don't want you to think that we just bash on GOP people. That is not what any Tea Party really is about. We bash on people who want to destroy our country and don't follow our Constitution. And I don't care the sound on this little clip, 24 seconds long, is a little skosh, and some of you have seen it. But just so that we're fair, and you see that the Tea Party also can bash on Democrats, I'm going to roll this, and you'll understand. Here we go.
Yeah, maybe it was done yet. When a person dies and is buried, seems a certain voodoo priest who Howard came back to life. It's worse than horrible because the zombie doesn't know what they're doing. You see them sometimes, walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like that, right? Maybe you was not yet.
Dead eyes, blindly following order.
Oh,
You mean like Democrats? Wow, vote. Okay, so we count on Democrats if they don't want to play ball with the Constitution too, right? We also, we need to not be the party of no. That's how we're interpreted also. We're just obstructionists. We just want to put wagon wheels back on cars and, do everything by hand and et cetera. And we're obstructionists and we always say no. That is not true. But we need to provide viable alternatives. For example, can somebody please raise your hand and give me a viable alternative to Obamacare? Karen?
being able to buy health insurance across state lines.
Yeah.
Tort reform.
Oh my goodness. Tort reform and being able to buy your own insurance across state lines, that's called a free market. That's one of the Tea Party's five principles, is it not? Okay, Floyd?
The Jeffersonian healthcare plan, which I've advocated in both of my campaigns, drawn up and patented, by the way, by Dr. John Lanzalotti out of Williamsburg. It puts the free market and competition back at the center of healthcare.
Free market and competition. You think that would lower premiums? I do. I really do. And tort reform. And tort reform, yes.
Personal responsibility.
Oh, stop it. Yeah. Virtue and accountability is the Tea Party plank on that. They got 5 planks, and that's one of them. Wouldn't it be nice if we actually had representatives that were accountable?
Yeah.
Because they are. Every time they're up for election, they're accountable. Yeah. Send a message, folks. Okay. Also, one message.
Well, I remember when I used to work in the public, we were not offered health care or hospitalization until the unemployment rate got down so low that the business community started offering it
As a perk.
as a perk.
Yeah, to try.
And so it's not like we should get everything from
Very good. Let me tell you something about my grandfather, the one that came from Denmark, that was a true immigrant, that loved the 4th of July. I was at his house in Florida, I think it was probably on Easter vacation or something, and the mailbox was right next to the door. It was a little kind of rectangular mailbox, and a little bit on it. The mailman wore shorts and pit helmets in Florida now. And he'd walk up the sidewalk and put the mail right next to your door. The milkman would put that milk bottle right next to your door, and all this. So I saw my grandfather check the mail, and I was sitting in the living room, and I could look out the front door, and he checked the mail, and he looked at this, and he said, "I don't need this," and he wrote on the envelope. It was his Social Security check, and he said, "The government shouldn't be giving me this. I can take care of myself. We need this money for the services that the federal government is supposed to provide. You shouldn't be giving it to me." He wrote "return to sender" and stuck it back in the mailbox. I witnessed that myself. I kid you not. That's the attitude of Americans just a couple generations ago. Self-sufficient. We don't really want your help. We're pioneers. We're cowboys. We're settlers. We got this. We're missing that. We need to get that back. Forget the entitlement right now. Okay, the last thing. I'm sorry, I gotta move on. The last thing. You did agree to stay a little late because of Google. All right, look. Another thing that the Tea Party is considered as racist, and that is not true at all. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night, I'll put a plug in here. Tomorrow night, we are having a showing of the movie Runaway Slave at the Bow Tie Theater. We'll also feed you. We have a very aggressive and active minority outreach team at Richmond Tea Party. They've been doing this for a while. I'm very proud of these people. I've been to the team meetings. I love what they do. You wind them up and you let them go. And they do great things. They're reaching out to people that the media paints us as never even wanting to talk to. That just isn't true. So tomorrow night, Runaway Slave. By the way, I had a black man in my wedding. I don't think racists do that, you know? So these things, I got to talk about Loretta last week when Jesse Jackson made his remark that the Tea Party is the Confederacy, or the Fort Sumter Tea Party, remember that? I got to respond to that a little bit. I didn't take the bait, but I did comment on it, and I held up a flyer of the C.O. Bryant Runaway Slave movie in my hand on Loretta, and said, look what we're doing next week. You know, somebody in the Confederacy that's a racist would not be doing this. And it was great TV. People saw, oh wow, he's even got the flyer. This has to be true. So what the left is saying is not true. Well, I'm very happy, I'm extremely happy and honored and proud that the maker of Runaway Slave, C.L. Bryant, is standing right back there.
Hello, Patriots. Good to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you so much, Gilbert Wilkinson, for having me out, and all of you. I want to shake your hand. God bless and God keep you. Thank you so much. In 2009, spoke to 1.5 million Americans who converged upon Washington, D.C. because they knew that something really wrong was happening in this country. And I want to tell you something. I was proud to be a Tea Partier in 2009, and I'm proud to be a Tea Partier tonight. The swings and the arrows of those who wanted us to go away, those who wanted us to sit down, those who wanted us to be quiet. But we have come to bring this message here in the year 2013 that we will not sit down, we will not be quiet, and we will not go away quietly into the night. We will stand as Americans, and we will fight for this country and defend this republic. I am a fellow with Freedom Works in Washington, D.C. And our president, CEO Matt Kibbe, has a popular saying among us. He says sometimes to defeat the Democrats, you must first defeat the Republicans. And Eric Cantor needs to understand. We will find these people are acting like elitists. They want us to bow down to them. They want us to bend the knee to them. But as Americans, we will not bow down. We will not bend the knee. And we need to send this message. If they will not stand with us as Tea Partiers, as conservatives, as protectors of the Constitution, then they need to pack their bags and get out of our state house. We've come a long way together. I've run several businesses in my adult life, employed many people in my adult life across this country. I want to tell you something. If I had a question for any employee of mine that pertained to my business, that employee told me that they were not going to answer my question. That employee found his way out the door. And if I had a question for an employee about his job and he told me that was not his job, then he didn't have a job. Cantor is an employee. IRS, they're employees. And it's time when we say take it back, we have to have the courage of our own convictions and take it back. Let them know that they can shoot on the door. They can get out. I do invite you to come out to be with us tomorrow night at Bow Tie Theater. We'll be showing the film Runaway Slave. Obamacare is a very awful thing that has had the design on you and me. This amnesty bill is a horrible thing that will ruin the fiber of our nation. It's all by design. You need to know that.
That's right.
One mistake we made was thinking that this Obama did not know what he was doing. A buffoon, yes, he's a buffoon. But he knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does.
As far as that is concerned. And he's very tactical at it.
Yes, he is.
And friends, we made a mistake in thinking that somehow this guy who was oafish at the mic without a teleprompter was not by design educated in how to bring about a socialist government. He's so far without much impeding, but I do see that tide turning, that we are beginning to make a difference. So, this is what is necessary now. If, in fact, and I heard a friend over here in the corner say that if this amnesty bill goes through, and God bless the folks in Texas, they're very sovereign and strong-willed people. I'm from this great state of Louisiana, and spent a lot of time in Texas, lived in Texas for a long time. Texas is being flooded now with people from California, New York, right now. Amnesty also will make legal a lot of people who are currently illegal in Texas. Texas is on the verge of becoming a purple, perhaps even a blue state. Texas falls. You can forget the White House for certain. No question about that. If Texas falls, there are a lot of things that will change in this country by design. They don't like you. You are an offense to progressive liberals, this crowd. You are an offense to them because you have the keys to the ownership that they have claimed over a certain voting bloc. In our film, Runaway Slave, one of the things that we point out, and it's a film that'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, but above all, it'll make you think. Has everyone in it from Dr. Thomas Sowell, my friend Glenn Beck, everyone's in the film. Come out and see tomorrow night. But one of the things that we're not doing is telling our story. The first plank in the Republican Party platform when they were formed was the liberty and freedom of man and the abolition of slavery. And that has been hijacked by the likes of Sharpton and Jackson and the Pelosi's of the world. It has been hijacked. And let me tell you something else. Don't be afraid of being called racist or being called flat earthers or whatever they want to call you, because guess what? They're going to call you names anyway.
You are right.
So you might as well stand on the side of principles and the side of what got us here, the greatest nation and the greatest success story that the world has ever known. Let us never forget that we are You see the hands of all you Southerners here. Everybody who's a Southerner, I want to see you. Good, that's most of it. You see, there was a great rift in our country called the Civil War. problem. My next film, and of course we filmed Runaway Slave over a 2.5-year period of time. Even shot footage over in Israel. My next film is Red, White, and Black. And what it does for us as Southerners, and of course we include the outside looking in view of Northerners as well. We will be yet to shoot it. You see, there's a certain nuance that goes on between Southern whites and Southern blacks that people above the Mason-Dixon line don't understand. And you Southerners know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You see, we as Southerners, we eat the same foods.
Yes.
White or black. You see, you can go to Louisiana, and I can go all the way over to Alabama, to Virginia, and I'll ask for a plate of grits, ham hocks, what have you. Everybody knows what I want. Because we're Southerners and we have that common thing. We believe God is simple. We have same core values, black or white, here in the South. We love the outdoors. And we're not tree huggers, but we love the outdoors. We're Southerners. We have a kinship to the ground, to the earth. And also we understand each other because of the common heritage that we did come through, even though sometimes it's painful. And even though the tear in the fabric of America came through the Civil War in the South, I believe that the healing of our nation is found in rooms like this across the South. We have the strength to survive and go on and get past it. And I want to tell our story in a way that has never been told from our eyes. Most of the story of the South has usually been told from the eyes of someone in Hollywood or someone from the Northeast in New York. But our story must be told from the eyes of Southerners. Before you is the son of a former slave, great-grandson, former slave. I guess I'm using that in a biblical term. Son of a former slave. If he wrote his name on that wall, he would not have been able to read it. His son, my grandfather, came to me one day when I was very Afrocentric. I have this huge afro. But I can tell that my granddad, he was the first CL. That's an interesting story behind that. We do have names, but he was the first CL. Came to me and he pulled me aside. And he pointed his rough-hewn pulpwood cutting hands in my face. He said to me, he said, "Sonny, I didn't go through what I went through so that you could be black. I went through what I went through so that you could be free." And today, your parents, your ancestors, your grandparents, they went through all that they went through so we could be free. In the greatest nation on the face of the earth. God knows why we're all here together now. But I know this one thing. That this republic must not be dissolved. And we are the red line.
Yes.
That's all.
Wow. We started this evening, and these are the closing comments here. We started this evening. Gilbert, do you want to make another plug for the movie?
Yes.
Wow, you really must want people to come to this movie. Come on over.
What movie is that?
forgot to mention, the racist Tea Party called Richmond Tea Party has one black board member. He's a board member. He's a boss.
We want you to come to the movie tomorrow, but we want you to give the first seats to the African Americans because they have not heard this message. This movie is put together so well. It's not racist. It's like I said, it's humorous, but it's like reading a book, but you actually get to see it. And I saw it last night, and I thought, wow, it's just a refreshing way to present it, the freedom, and have blacks and whites come together to see this movie. So that's what we want you to do. This right here says Tea Party on it. This same flyer, which is the black community, has said trading as regional concerned citizens. That's the way we present it to the black community. We didn't present it as a Tea Party thing. But it's supported by the Tea Party. Thank God to the Federation. Thank God to the Richmond Tea Party for the funding. And we thank the AFP for the funding too. So God bless you. C.L. Bryant tomorrow morning will be at Brooks Diner at 9 o'clock in the morning. We support her. She supported me. We brought Kevin Jackson to town. We'll be there with him if you want to show up there. And just a breakfast is free for all. So
What time?
the breakfast or the night or tomorrow?
Tomorrow, breakfast.
The breakfast tomorrow is at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
How else can we get in touch with this movie?
Yeah, let me see it.
Request it from your library.
Oh, you can on Netflix. We have 30 copies that we brought with us that we purchased. They're still in my car. We wanted to put those in the hands of the black community so they can pass them out themselves and show up in their home.
So that's something that's
Also, the movie tomorrow is, you can see 219 people. The movie theater says that we want to get a bigger room that will actually give it to us for $395. So we want to pack the place up. We've had a lot of interviews. We had a lot of media about it, so it's being pumped up. So it's at the Bow-Tie Theater. You go ahead and see it on the wall. You see the poster on the wall, just like a real movie. And this movie is a great movie, I'm telling you. All right.
Google it.
The movie tomorrow is at 7 o'clock.
Any other time maybe we show?
Not yet. This is expensive to show it at this movie theater at one time.
We've got videos so you can show it in your own local
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gilbert. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be there because they have free food, and so I've got to go. Look, I'm going to close with this. I know there's a few of you that I spoke to on the other side of the street that wanted to say something and didn't get a chance to. So really, we need to do this again. That's what I think. I'm going to close with this. We came in this room to find out about Eric Cantor's views, where he stands, and whether he's the leader for us, particularly you in the 7th District. We have measured Eric Cantor by looking at films of his own words, and we have looked at the report cards, and we've heard from you. We have measured Eric Cantor and found him wanting. So, you know what to do. We the people are the king and queen of this country. We are the sovereign. He's the public servant. If you're dissatisfied with the job he's doing, you can let him know, and if he doesn't respond to the commands from the sovereign, remove him. Vote him out. That's how it should work, and that's a template for how it should work all across the country. Thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, for coming out tonight and helping to save your country. That's a noble cause, and please keep in touch. You can get a hold of us at richmondteaparty.com to coordinate. Also, I want to just point out there's a jug, red, white, and blue ribbon on it that's kind of coming off that you can drop a donation in. These pretty ballrooms don't come cheap, and these are the Runaway Slave movies. So we appreciate a little support there if you think this is worthwhile. Also, if you don't have any cash on you, which most people don't nowadays, we have a donate button at richmondteaparty.com. Thank you again for coming out. I hope to see you all very soon.
start watching it more.